This video serves as part 2 to my official Sonic Forces review. Check out part 1 right here. Sonic Forces legitimately sucks, and it has the worst story of any Sonic game in the entire series. It character assassinates literally everyone, it has more plot holes than Swiss cheese, and it's overall just freaking terrible. Once again, if you have any disagreements, feel free to head over to the Discord server, tune into live streams to voice your criticisms, and if you're gonna comment in the comment section, at the very least have the honesty to watch the video out first, because when I'm discussing objective problems, your feelings are no longer relevant. Let's begin. So starting things off in chronological order, we have episode Shadow, and we need to touch on Shadow's character. Why the fuck does Shadow kill the members of the Jackal Squad? It's established by Eggman that he does indeed eliminate them, and I have to ask, why the hell does he do that? Shadow hasn't been quote-unquote bloodthirsty ever since the events of Shadow the Hedgehog 2005, and we even see in Sonic 06 that he is long past his anger. For example, when he sees Silver, a character who is close to him and Sonic in terms of power, when he sees this character try kill Sonic, he doesn't immediately try to kill Silver, and he instead tries to reform him and get him to see the error of his ways.
Mephiles isn't trying to help you create a better future. He's trying to eliminate the past.
What? What are you talking about?
To discover what happened, it seems we must see what took place 10 years ago. Follow me if you want the truth.
So it seems very out of character for Shadow to just mercilessly kill characters who are nowhere near his level of power. But also, if he's willing to kill the members of the Jackal Squad, then why the fuck does he let Zero, aka Infinite, live? He's already shown to be capable and willing in this game to kill these characters, so why does he just let one of them live? This is not only assassination for Shadow, but it's also ridiculous plot armor for Zero. So Infinite arrives and whoops Sonic's ass, and I would have to ask Tails, why you just sat there doing shit? Like, I'm fairly certain you would be more help if you were to actually help Sonic try beat Infinite, rather than fiddling around on your Nintendo Switch. Like, you ain't gonna figure out this guy's weakness in a matter of moments. So with Sonic defeated, Eggman's army takes over the entire world, and we transition into one of the worst scenes in the entire game. Let's break it down bit by bit.
Eggman's army is unstoppable! Without Sonic, the people are losing hope and giving into despair!
Despair is a luxury we don't have.
I still dream that Sonic is with us. Do you think he might be...
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. Sonic is gone, Amy, and Tails has just lost it.
It's funny how Silver says this, but the very next time we see Tails, he's completely fine. Like, he's just trying to repair fucking Omega, and he doesn't even show any signs of grief or PTSD or anything like that throughout the rest of the game. So it's a bit weird that Silver would say this when it's not even fucking true.
If we're going to win, we have to do it without them.
Silver's right. We've been hoping for a miracle these past 6 months, but I'm afraid we have to make our own miracle.
So let me get this straight. Without Sonic here to help you all, you've just been sat on your asses for the last 6 months and done literally nothing. I hope that Sonic Team is aware of the fact that these characters aren't legitimately useless. Like, remember in Adventure 2 when everyone came together to save the Earth from the Eclipse Cannon?
There still may be some time left. If we pull together, we might be able to get to the shortcut that leads to the core.
No worries. Just leave it to me. I'm the world's fastest hedgehog.
Hey, let's get to work!
Now, Shadow! Chaos Control!
Or in Sonic Heroes, when everyone came together to buy Sonic time by holding off Metal Madness long enough for him to tap into the Chaos Emeralds.
If only we had the 7 Chaos Emeralds! What's this? But how? Even with the Emerald's power, the chances for victory are slim. It would take a miracle.
Just leave that to me, Doc.
Sonic, no! I'm going with you too!
Tails.
You can count me in, too.
Knuckles.
Okay, guys, we'll buy you some time. That way you can use your superpowers.
Okay, then. Let's get ready to do this. We'll show that creep the real superpower of teamwork!
Or in Sonic 06, when the fucking fate of reality was at stake, yet they still all went their separate ways, gathered the Chaos Emeralds in order to resurrect Sonic.
Solaris flung the Chaos Emeralds to the distant corners of this distorted world.
To collect them all in time, we'll have to split up. I'll go too. Because it's for Sonic. So Elise, watch over him.
Like, these characters aren't fucking useless without Sonic, and the idea that they've just been sat on their asses for the last 6 months and done fuck all is legit insulting. Especially since Knuckles was a guardian of the Master Emerald even before he met Sonic, and you also have Silver there, who defended the future alongside Blaze in the events of Sonic 06. You also have Team Chaotix, who are some of the most skilled detectives on the fucking planet. I just find it impossible to believe that these Muppets have been sat on their asses for the last 6 months.
Eggman's army has everyone terrified. If we want the people to rally, we have to show them that strength doesn't just come from numbers.
I just find it really stupid that Silver says this because, yeah, he's completely right. Strength doesn't come from numbers. It comes from Sonic, apparently. It comes from Sonic, a classic version of Sonic, and a fucking rookie. And speaking of the rookie...
Here, kid, take this. We're depending on you.
Where the fuck do I begin? Let's start with the fact that a random survivor from one of Infinite's attacks is somehow more useful in this game than literally every single member of Sonic's friend group. But also, why the fuck does Knuckles rely on this guy? Like, he's a rookie and you consistently tell him that. You're literally a guardian of the Master Emerald. You would be way more useful than this twat. But also, I have to ask, what the fuck are the Wispons and why are they even here? The game never once mentions that the Wisps have come back to the fucking Earth, which is something that they probably wouldn't want to do given what they experienced in Sonic Colors. And the reason why the Wisps reappearing in Sonic Lost World makes sense is because that game takes place on an alien planet, meaning that returning Wisps such as Laser, Hover, and Rocket, in addition to some new Wisps such as Rhythm, Eagle, and Bomb Wisp, all makes sense because it's an alien planet. However, in Sonic Forces, the game implies that the Wisps have just come back to Earth, or that the Sonic characters have managed to get a hold of the Wisps, which I find incredibly hard to believe. But also, why the fuck are the Sonic characters making weapons from the Wisps? Enslaving alien creatures to create a weapon from them is literally what Eggman did in Sonic Colors. Why are we just expected to brush over this? But also, if the Wispons are legitimately useful, why the fuck does every member of the Resistance not use them? Why not give one to Classic Sonic? Why not give one to Modern Sonic? Why don't they give Wispons to Shadow, the guy who is known for using guns? But also, if the game expects us to believe that this random-ass rookie is somehow more skilled at using the Wispons than Sonic and his classic self, which is extremely stupid by the way, why don't you just reverse engineer the Wispons to give Classic and Modern Sonic access to the Wisps? Tails knows what the Wisps can do. He saw what they can do in Sonic Colors. Not only do the Wisps grant Sonic a power boost, but they also grant him new abilities, which he is very proficient at using. And even Classic Sonic used them during the events of Generations. So why the fuck don't the Resistance think to reverse engineer these weapons to give Sonic access to the Wisps to help him fight Infinite? Why the fuck don't the other members of the Resistance also use the Wisps? This entire sequence causes so many fucking world-building issues in the Sonicverse that weren't there before, and it's fucking stupid. But wait, we're not done with this fucking cutscene.
Okay, let's get going, everybody. The world's not gonna save itself.
Right.
Friendly reminder that these guys sat on their asses for 6 months giving into despair, yet all of a sudden when they pull some homeless guy off the street and give this random twat a gun, all of a sudden they're motivated to fight back against Eggman and Infinite, which is fucking stupid.
I just received some incredible news. Sonic is alive!
Literally in the next fucking cutscene, after they were all mourning Sonic's death and all the rest of it, all of a sudden Sonic is revealed to be alive. This fucking game, man. However, if you thought that we were gonna get a slight break from terrible ass cutscenes, no, we're about to launch into another one, so brace yourself.
That should have done it. I couldn't figure it out for you, buddy. I'm sorry I wasn't smart enough. Huh? Whoa! Chaos! Sonic, help me!
I really hate what the mid-2010s did to Tails' character. Slowly but surely, he's been getting more and more useless with every game. However, he's never been this fucking abysmal. Tails literally bends over and presents his arse to Chaos Zero. You know, the same guy that he was able to fight in Sonic Adventure 1. He was able to fight his powered-up versions, I'd like to add. However, the writers seem to have forgotten as well that one of Tails' arcs in Sonic Adventure 1 is not relying on Sonic. He literally saves Station Square from Eggman and no one is around to help him, and it's part of his arc in that game.
I've changed a lot since I've started hanging with Sonic. But I can't depend on him forever. I know I can do this by myself. Okay, Eggman, bring it on!
You fool. Away, before I make mincemeat out of you.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I can do this. I did it all by myself.
With this continuing in Adventure 2, when Eggman ejects Sonic's ass out into space, Tails doesn't cower in fear, instead he is determined and he takes on Eggman.
Unfinished business to take care of. If you give me the real emerald, I will release you both. You have my promise.
Sonic!
Huh?
Sonic's asked me for the first time to do something for him. I won't let him down. I won't give up.
Tails literally 1v1s Eggman immediately after Sonic's death, quote-unquote, in Adventure 2. Yet in Forces, he's just a fucking pushover. And I want to point out, this is not an issue exclusive to Forces, however, it has never been as bad as it is in this game. Also, just to add on to that, it was literally Amy's character arc in Sonic Adventure 1 also, you know, the whole not relying on Sonic thing, so the fact that she's also been sat on her ass for 6 months in Sonic Forces makes no sense either for her character.
Dimension, aren't you?
What the fuck are you talking about? He's from another dimension. He's literally Sonic, but from the past. That was the entire point of Sonic Generations.
Doubles of us? Places and enemies from our past? We're traveling through time and space! Right, that makes sense, I think.
I'm not sure what makes less sense, the fact that you're somehow making sense out of this situation, or the fact that the writers thought it was acceptable to include this in the fucking game.
Do you know how you got here? Maybe the power that Eggman is using is somehow affecting other dimensions. Which might work to our advantage. I mean, everything happens for a reason, right? We need to save the world, and maybe that's why you're here. To help save the world.
Once again, characters like Amy and Tails had arcs in Adventure 1 where they didn't rely on Sonic as much anymore, meaning that I find it fucking stupid that years later these characters suddenly rely on Sonic, a weaker version of Sonic than his modern self, I'd like to point out. Also, the fucking soldiers aren't even aiming at Infinite.
This is the end, Sonic.
Oh hey, sounds like the party started. Want to let me go and join in? No? Of course not. You hate fun.
Considering that Eggman has been supposedly torturing Sonic for the last few months, he seems in remarkably an upbeat shape. In fact, there's no evidence of him being tortured at all. Look, I understand that this is a kid's game, but if you're going to talk about mature topics such as war and torture, you may as well go all in. Especially as this game was advertised as being a very mature game, much more mature and serious than Colors and Lost World, so it kind of feels weird that this tone isn't consistent with the marketing.
Whoa. Oh, wow. The end, huh? Let's see you try something now that I'm free.
Foolish hedgehog. Getting out of your chains does not make you free.
I don't even think the game explains how Sonic did get out of his chains. And also, why the fuck didn't they chain his legs instead of his hands? You know, the guy who is known for the whole gotta go fast thing. Also, given what we learned later about the Phantom Ruby and what it's capable of, I think it's very stupid that they don't give more security to Sonic of all things. Like, they only have one Zavok clone defending Sonic. I find it stupid that Eggman doesn't have more people defending Sonic's cell, you know, like a couple of dozen Shadows, for example, maybe a Metal Sonic here and there. No, you're only gonna let one Zavok clone defend Sonic. Even though Eggman is fully aware that in Sonic Lost World, Sonic defeated not only Zavok, but also the entirety of the Deadly Six by himself. Also, Sonic's quotes in Egggate are just completely dumb.
Whoa, we're off planet! I guess anyone who crosses Eggman gets a one-way trip to space. No way I'm sticking around here. There's nothing to run on.
Sonic, you're literally grinding on rails and you're also running around. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't do well in tight spaces. I'll pay back Eggman for putting me in this jam later.
It's pretty weird that Sonic implies that he's claustrophobic, even though he really didn't give a shit about the prospect of being locked in a prison cell. Like, he's been in prison for, what, 6 months, and he seems to not give a shit.
But they had me locked up on the Death Egg. This big ball of scrap just won't stay destroyed.
Given that you are literally traveling towards the fucking Death Egg, it's pretty obvious that you weren't imprisoned on it, you were imprisoned near it. Like, all of these quotes just make Sonic look like such a dumbass. But after a few stages with the Avatar and also Sonic's infamous run of Luminous Forest, we then get this interaction between Infinite, Silver, and Sonic. Why the fuck does Sonic and Silver survive this encounter? It's stated by Infinite that he has no issues with killing heroes or crushing them, because it breaks the morality of the Resistance and keeps the rabble in line.
But I'm always happy to crush a hero. It keeps the rabble in line, shows them that there is no hope. See,
and as a result of this, I'm not too sure why he doesn't kill Sonic when he has the chance. He just flies away. He doesn't even kill Silver either. This is just ridiculous plot armor for Sonic and Silver, and it serves as once again an assassination for Infinite's character, which we went over in part 1. Also, to add insult to Sonic and Silver, how the fuck did neither one of them notice the Phantom Ruby prototype that Infinite dropped? Like, the rookie notices it and picks it up straight away, yet those characters who are right there somehow don't notice it. It literally dropped right in front of Silver, and also Sonic as well.
Tails!
I was so worried. I thought you were...
You worry too much. Look, I'm perfectly fine.
Somehow, after months of torture?
It's been generations since I seen you. You okay?
Whilst this is a decent joke, unfortunately it contradicts what Tails said earlier in the story about how classic Sonic is from another dimension. No, Sonic literally just references Sonic Generations, which was all about time travel. So yeah, Sonic Forces kind of fucked up the canon there a little.
Places and enemies from our past? We're traveling through time and space! The good news is you're safe. The bad news is Eggman said he had some plan that will destroy us all in 3 days.
3 days, huh? Well, a lot can happen in that time.
Something that I didn't mention earlier that I feel would be appropriate to mention now is why the fuck are the Chaos Emeralds not mentioned at all in this game? Like, they are literally not mentioned in the slightest. These gems that have pretty much granted the heroes a 100% guarantee for success every single fucking time. Suddenly they're just not mentioned? And I don't even buy the argument that these characters don't have enough time to gather them, since in Sonic Heroes they also had 3 days to reach Eggman. And despite the fact that the heroes weren't all working together, they were subdivided into 4 groups of 3, and they didn't even know that they needed the Chaos Emeralds because they weren't aware of Metal Sonic's existence at this point in their story, they still all managed to gather the Chaos Emeralds.
Guess what, Sonic Heroes? I finally developed the ultimate weapon. In 3 days, I'll conquer the world. Think you can stop me? If only we had the 7 Chaos Emeralds! What's this? But how?
And in Sonic 06, when reality is falling apart, the heroes still manage to gather the Chaos Emeralds in a relatively short amount of time in order to resurrect Sonic and allow him, Shadow, and Silver to fight Solaris.
Solaris flung the Chaos Emeralds to the distant corners of this distorted world.
To collect them all in time, we'll have to split up. I'll go too. Because it's for Sonic. So Elise, watch over him.
Hell, in Sonic Frontiers, the game that takes place after Forces, Sonic is able to gather the Chaos Emeralds almost effortlessly by himself. And when Knuckles, Tails, and Amy work together in Final Horizons, they're also able to gather the Chaos Emeralds to help Sonic. Yet you're telling me in Sonic Forces, when all the heroes are working together, they're more powerful and more experienced than they used to be, they have the same amount of time as they did in Heroes, in addition to the 6 months of time where the heroes just sat on their asses doing diddly squat. You're telling me that they were unable to find the Chaos Emeralds in this game, yet they were able to do it in Sonic Heroes. This is blatant character assassination for literally everyone here. And not even classic Sonic escapes being character assassinated, since it's implied in Sonic Mania that how Sonic arrived in the Forces timeline was when the Phantom Ruby sent him there during the final battle of Sonic Mania. Meaning that even classic Sonic would be aware of the fact that Chaos Emeralds are an effective counter to the Phantom Ruby. And classic Sonic, despite not having a voice, he can still communicate with the characters. He does it in Generations and he does it in Forces as well. Yet he doesn't communicate the Chaos Emeralds either? How the fuck do you character assassinate someone who doesn't even have a voice? I was initially going to give Sonic a pass because obviously he was captured during the events of the 6-month time skip. However, Sonic is here now and he doesn't reference the Chaos Emeralds once. I understand that the Chaos Emeralds was kind of a Deus Ex Machina in a sense, and people were bored of the whole Monster of the Week formula. But in this game, Sonic got his ass handed to him by Infinite at the start of the story, and got his ass handed by Infinite again even when he had got stronger after the 6-month time skip. Fairly certain if we were to ever need the Chaos Emeralds, it would be now, but no one brings them up.
Okay, I'm not taking that thing down the traditional way. I'm gonna need the Chaos Emeralds.
A few moments later. A few moments later. A few moments later.
All right, Shadow, what's the deal?
Chaos control!
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Sonic, you've been fighting Shadow for years now, and the whole reason that you guys are rivals is because you're fairly close to each other in stats, so why the hell would you cower in fear at one of the Shadow clones that you don't even think is a clone, you think is the real Shadow? What the hell was that?
So, there's more to you than just looking like me. What are you, anyway?
What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventure. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog!
I see. But you know, I can't let you live. Your adventuring days are coming to an end.
Didn't you know? We have a date with Eggman, too.
Is that so? Well then, it'll be a date to die for.
Hey! That's my line!
But also, how the hell does Shadow one-shot the clone in general? Like, the clones are implied to be as strong as the actual characters, so Shadow can just one-shot someone on his level, I guess. It's kind of weird that he doesn't, like, one-shot Sonic in any of their fights, but... oh dear, what can you do? This game's writing ain't all that good, if you haven't noticed already.
Can create virtual reality projections. They have mass and form, but no heart and soul.
Virtual reality? So all those familiar faces that were part of Eggman's army?
Replicas. The problem is, they may not be real, but their powers are as formidable as the originals. According to Rouge, Infinite can create unlimited numbers of them.
So fight after fight, he can just keep cranking out counterfeits?
Exactly. As it stands, there's no way we can win this.
Of course we can win this. We always do. We just haven't figured that part out yet.
No, you guys are wrong here. If the intel from Rouge is legitimately correct, that means that you guys don't have a hope in hell of winning. If Infinite can create an unlimited amount of Chaos, Metal Sonic, Shadow, and Zavok, and we also learn later down the line that he's capable of cloning himself as well with the Phantom Ruby, yeah, why do the heroes win this game at all? Like, why do they win in this game? They stand no chance whatsoever. This is ridiculous plot armor for the heroes because they should not win under any circumstances.
Exactly. That's why we're focusing on a full frontal assault on Metropolis. I'm calling it Operation Big Wave.
Who cares what it's called? What's important is to have a well-thought-out strategy.
I thought up this strategy in about a minute and a half.
Knuckles, please think about what you just said. You're the commander, and Silver literally just said to you that you should have a well-thought-out plan, and you just said you came up with the plan in a minute and a half. And I don't even buy the argument that, oh, these characters can think at super speed, just like the Flash. Knuckles seems so nonchalant about creating a plan that has the sole purpose of saving the world. Knuckles would not be this nonchalant about saving the Earth, and once again it's just blatant character assassination for him. Also, to add salt to the wound, look at how well Operation Big Wave goes.
Our troops are scattering in the confusion! Our forces were all gathered together, and now they're plunged into chaos! This is Eagle Squad! We're caught in enemy crossfire! Snake Squad requesting reinforcements! This is Fox Squad! We can't hold out much more!
80% of our forces have been wiped out, and we've lost contact with the rest!
One flip of the Phantom Ruby switch and everything falls apart on us!
The rookie is our only hope now.
So if 80% of your entire army was wiped out and you've lost contact with the rest, then once again, Knuckles, why are you putting all of your hope in the rookie? Why don't you guys get off your asses and do something? You're seriously losing all of your army, and your immediate response is, oh, the rookie, the guy who's been with us for a few days, yeah, he can do the job.
Fine. I will teach you fear, then pain, and then, well, at least the fear and pain will end.
Yeah, so how the hell does the Avatar survive this? Infinite has literally said that he will pretty much torture the Avatar and then eventually kill him, and we see how powerful Infinite is, so how the hell does the Avatar survive this? Also, in the fight scene, how the hell is the Avatar performing as well as Sonic does? Like, the version of Sonic who came back after the 6-month time skip and was more powerful than he was before? Like, the game is seriously expecting you to believe that a random kid from the city with no combat experience is somehow performing as well as these freedom fighters that have had decades of combat experience and should almost certainly be more powerful. This is blatant plot armor for the Avatar. There is no reason why he should survive this encounter, and we see at the end of the fight that Infinite effortlessly overwhelms the Avatar with ease, yet somehow doesn't kill him even after all of that. I don't even know what to say.
A weapon that takes control of people's visual and depth perception to feed false information to the brain, creating a new reality for them. Like a dream so real if you bump yourself in it, your sleeping self will bruise? It's hard to believe.
The only thing that's hard to believe is the idea that the heroes can somehow overcome all of this. Like, if creating an army that is literally infinite in size wasn't already enough, Infinite can make the heroes trip balls. Like, how the hell are they expected to survive this shit?
I don't like sitting on the bench, but there's nothing to do till Tails gets back.
Well, that's funny. You've been doing it the entire game, and you will continue to keep doing it for the rest of the game.
Way to jinx it! Metal Sonic has been spotted in the city!
Is it another fake?
Why would they bother making a fake out of something that already isn't real? Couldn't they just build more?
Why would Sonic think this? Like, this is Eggman we're talking about. Like, yeah, of course he could build more. But if you have something like the Phantom Ruby, which can create an unlimited amount of replicas, then yeah, why would they not just do that? Like, yeah, it requires an insane amount of power, but if it can create an army that is infinite in size, with the individual members being as powerful as the original characters, then yeah, why would they not do that? It seems like the logical choice to me.
Either way, it's getting wrecked. Let's go, partner.
Of all the characters in Sonic's friend group, including Shadow and Silver, why the fuck would Sonic choose to go with the Avatar? Like, it just makes no sense why the game puts the Avatar on a freaking pedestal and just ruins everyone else. But also, if it requires Sonic and the Avatar to take down one clone of Metal Sonic, then once again, why the hell would they ever hope to survive this? This is just one clone that the Phantom Ruby is able to make, and it requires Sonic and the Avatar to take it down. So how the hell do the heroes survive against a literal army against thousands of clones?
Well, you know, it's just crazy enough to work. So, first we need a distraction. I'm on it.
No way, Knuckles. You're too easily distracted. That's not a good trait for a distraction. Plus, you're our commander.
Why the fuck would you make Knuckles the commander if he's easily distracted? That seems kinda counterintuitive. Like, at this point, I'm fairly certain that Vector, Amy, or fuck, even Silver would make a better commander than this version of Knuckles.
We kinda need you here.
How about the rookie? Eggman would never expect it. It may even throw him off a little.
If only there was a character who has consistently defeated Eggman in the past. You know, if only he had blue quills, green eyes, Santa shoes. No, not ringing any bells. Oh, we're gonna send a new kid on the block who has barely any combat experience. Yeah, why not? Let's send him. That makes sense. Because fuck everyone else, I suppose. Quite a lot of things to unpack here. First of all, Eggman literally says that he's going to trap Sonic, Tails, and the Avatar in Null Space, yet all three of them just stand around and accept their fate, like they don't try running off or attacking or anything.
What is that?
That, my spiky little predator, is Null Space.
Null Space?
It's a little something that the Phantom Ruby cooked up. A closed-off space where absolutely nothing exists. Goodbye, Sonic, my soon-to-be-eradicated nemesis.
Sonic doesn't even try to run to escape the pull of the black hole, and whilst it's not guaranteed to work, it is something that he has tried doing in previous games.
This might not end well.
I also find it weird that Tails of all people is able to physically outmatch the power of the Null Space black hole. Like, Tails is able to physically hold on long enough for it to suck in Sonic and the Avatar. I find it weird that Tails of all people is able to do this.
But we destroyed the Phantom Ruby's power source.
Tisk tisk. Since you always destroy the power source of my weapon, I decided to learn from my mistakes. I had a backup power source created under Metropolis.
Okay, so Tails should be dead right now. Sonic and the Avatar has been sucked into goodness knows where, and Tails is for some reason unable to fight in this game. He's going up against Eggman and Infinite, someone who has literally overwhelmed Sonic and Silver in a matter of moments, and someone who sent Shadow to the Shadow Realm in the DLC. So Tails should very well be dead right about now. Oh no, Tails survives. Why? Because plot armor, I guess? It makes no reason for Tails to survive this. Like, the villains could literally kill a member of the Resistance right now if they wanted to, and for some reason they just don't.
It can't be! It's impossible to get out of the Phantom Ruby's Null Space!
Well, maybe by myself, but I had a little help from my friend. Something you wouldn't understand since you don't have any friends.
This changes nothing. Dr. Eggman will still have the last laugh.
Maybe he'd have more friends if he didn't talk about himself in the third person.
Now, I want to point out that I don't think Sonic and the Avatar escaping Null Space is plot armor, because Sonic has repeatedly shown that defying the impossible is just something that he's naturally able to do. Like, he does it in past and future games.
When the Sonics accelerate through time, they fix space, returning color and light.
And I guess we have to run like there's no tomorrow, or there won't be a tomorrow.
You have done the impossible. You have escaped cyberspace through your own power. You are the key.
However, I do call bullshit and plot armor for both Sonic and the Avatar that for some reason Infinite doesn't just kill them there and then. Like, what are they gonna do against Infinite, realistically? Now would be a really good time to kill 3 members of the Resistance, especially when we're looking at the members of the Resistance that are present. You have the Avatar, who has been a constant pain in your ass in this game. You have Tails, who is not only incredibly intelligent, but has also been a pain in your ass since Adventure 1. And then you've had Sonic, who has been a pain in your ass since forever. Feel like it would make a lot of sense for you to at least try to kill them, rather than just running off for no reason. This ridiculous plot armor bleeds into the final battle, and once again, just like in part 1, we're gonna have to break this down piece by piece. First of all, how the hell is the Resistance a match for Infinite and Eggman's army at all? Like, they have them outmatched in terms of raw power and massively outclassed in terms of numbers. Like, Eggman and Infinite should win this every freaking time. The second thing, once again, is an illustration of Infinite's power, where he casually overpowers literally everyone in the Resistance with one attack. And this once again adds to the egregious plot armor that the Avatar, Sonic, Silver, and Tails, and pretty much every other character who's come across Infinite has ever had. Like, why the hell did they survive? He could have killed them multiple times at this point. Especially if the overall objective is to kill the Resistance anyways, like killing the odd member here and there wouldn't make matters worse. In fact, it is quite literally within character to kill members of the Resistance every now and then.
But I'm always happy to crush a hero. It keeps the rabble in line, shows them that there is no one. See,
Look, it's reacting. Eggman said something about the Phantom Ruby prototypes. Let me see. Whoa, it is! He said the Phantom Ruby prototypes only react to the person who activated it. That must be you, buddy! Your courage and heroism are probably what triggered it. Just maybe, if you use this, it can make that sun disappear.
Once again, I find it stupid just how much the game is glazing the Avatar, especially since the Phantom Ruby prototype fell in front of Silver and Sonic respectively, yet for some reason neither one had the common sense to pick it up. I'm fairly certain that both of those characters would have been able to activate the Phantom Ruby.
Fall into slumber with my soul, Iblis, you cursed flames of disaster! No! Why won't it accept me as the vessel?
Sonic, there is no point in continuing! The knight never flees his foe, right? Ah! You fool! This no longer has anything to do with chivalry! Get out of there! Run! It was never about chivalry for me. I just gotta do what I've gotta do! That's all!
Hell, it would have actually made a lot more sense if Sonic had his own Phantom Ruby and went against Infinite, who had the real one. That could have actually made a lot more sense, but no, just some random kid who's been fighting for a couple of days at most is suddenly outperforming like 99% of the resistance. Oh dear.
This is the turning point, guys. Time to press our advantage and kick major butt.
Knuckles, be honest with me. How do you think that this gives you the advantage at all? Like, if anything, this puts you at a disadvantage. Infinite's Phantom Ruby is severely drained in terms of power, yes. However, he has the potential to recharge it. And you guys lost your one and only Phantom Ruby prototype, which was debatably the biggest asset you had against Infinite, since none of you had the chromosomes in this game to actually think of gathering the Chaos Emeralds. And once again, even without Infinite's intervention, you still are massively outclassed by Eggman's army. So why is this being treated as if, like, the Resistance suddenly have a chance? If anything, they are even more fucked now than they were before. Like, the Phantom Ruby prototype that the Avatar had is literally the only reason why these characters are all still alive, and they no longer have access to it. Case in point, we then get to the final battle with Infinite, and this is some of the worst plot armor I've ever seen in my life, and it is easily worse than the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League plot armor. How the hell do Sonic and the Avatar hope to defeat Infinite? It's been established multiple times now that Sonic cannot take Infinite in a 1v1, and it's also established that the only reason the Avatar stood a chance was because of his Phantom Ruby prototype, which he no longer has access to. And it's also been established that Infinite can overwhelm the entire Resistance with a single attack, meaning that he massively outclasses both of them in raw power. So again, how the hell do they survive that? Infinite could create an army of Metal Sonics, Zavox, Shadows, and Chaos Zeros and overwhelm the two heroes that way. Or fuck, the Phantom Ruby is recharged now. Infinite could literally create another Sun for a guaranteed one-shot to not just Sonic and the Avatar, but also the entire army. There is no reason for the Avatar and Sonic to win this fight. It's freaking stupid. Now, what would have made sense is if the characters had the common sense to gather the Chaos Emeralds, because having Super Sonic take on a full-powered Infinite would have actually been a pretty interesting fight, but alas, that's not what we got in this game. Furthermore, how the hell did the Resistance survive? Like, you don't have any casualties at all? If one Infinite wasn't bad enough, and keep in mind, one Infinite by himself is able to solo the Resistance with ease, Eggman's new Death Egg robot, when it channels the full power of the Phantom Ruby, it summons thousands of Infinites.
Sonic, what's going on? There aren't less enemies, there's more!
What?
How can there be so many? Confirmed sightings indicate Shadow, Metal Sonic, Zavok, Chaos, Infinite. Thousands of them.
What have you done?
I merely incorporated the Phantom Ruby into this Death Egg robot. This Death Egg robot has... No, I have surpassed Infinite to become the complete and ultimate form. You will be crushed by this Death Egg robot powered by the Phantom Ruby, and in the end, everything will still be just as I planned.
You're seriously gonna try convince me that this band of merry Muppets are somehow able to take on an army that is massively more powerful than them? Every single character in the Resistance has ludicrous plot armor. And for the cherry on top of the shit shake, how the hell do the characters defeat Eggman? He's literally surpassed Infinite, and he can do literally everything that I just said, yet somehow Sonic, the Avatar, and his classic self are able to win this fight. Like, to put it into context how much plot armor these characters are, you know how Superman somehow lost to the Suicide Squad in Kill the Justice League? Well, imagine if there was 1,000 Supermen there, and the Suicide Squad still somehow beat them. That's how freaking brain dead this is. This is easily the worst plot armor I've ever seen in my life, and it completely breaks the story. This is going down in history as the worst story that I've ever seen in a piece of media. Not only does it character assassinate the main heroes, however it also gives them ludicrous plot armor to the point where it's very difficult to take the story seriously. The main heroes are all morons and don't think of gathering the Chaos Emeralds, even though it would make sense given how effective they are in the past. The heroes also craft these incredible weapons called Wispons, yet for some reason they only give it to the rookie. Like, seriously, you don't want to give every single member of the Resistance these incredibly powerful weapons. There is absolutely no justifying this story. It is absolutely awful, and it is easily the worst story in the entire series. At the very least, Sonic 06's story was tonally consistent and tonally appropriate, and it also gave us some legitimately good moments that are some of the best moments in the entire series. You also have games like the storybook games, where even though their gameplay was very underwhelming, the stories and premises are very fascinating and incredible to witness. With that being said, however, we are at the end of the video. If you've made it this far, then I'd like to thank you for watching me tear apart this game's shitty story for the best part of an hour. If you enjoyed the video and want to talk to me about this game, feel free to join the Discord server, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and consider tuning into live streams every now and then where we talk about other Sonic-related games. I thank you all for watching once again, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.